evening underway. I want to introduce to you your host for the evening. Not only is he a comedy writer, he's also the host of the ChristianComedyPodcast.com. You can get it at iTunes. In fact, there's over 150,000 folks who are listening to that podcast. He's the author of, are you ready for this? Men Are From Mars Because Women Killed the Ones on Venus. Not quite sure how I feel about that right now. Please welcome Mike Williams.
Thank you. How you doing? Good to see you tonight. I know some of you are looking up there going, it's a priest. Look at that. They've been kidding me about it all night. I bought the new suit for tonight. You know, it's thinning. It makes me look good for the video. And they've been, you look like a priest. You're the only priest that's ever been at First Baptist Church of Orlando before. So hey, good to see you. In fact, one of my favorite jokes, and this is just a stupid little joke. I'm throwing this in, no charge for this one. This isn't part of my bit, but it's one of my favorite jokes. There was this young priest, right? And he's getting ready to hear his first confession. And he's a little bit nervous about it, right? So what he does is he speaks to this old priest and he says, would you kind of listen to my first confession hearing thing and tell me what I ought to do? And the old priest said, sure, I'll do that. And he waits outside the booth. And after about 3 confessions, the old priest reaches in, grabs the young priest and pulls him out. He said, I got to help you a little bit. He said, first of all, I want you to know when you're listening to those confessions, it'd be real good if you'd kind of cross your arms like this and put your hand on your chin. It makes you look real intelligent, makes it look like you're paying attention. And another good thing for you to do would be to sit there and go, that's a great idea. And one thing you've got to do is you've got to stop slapping your knee and saying, haha, that's hilarious, tell me more. Okay, so anyway, I love that joke. I just got back from Russellville, Arkansas. Any Arkansas people here? Smile at me. Okay, good to see you. Wow. Thank you for coming tonight. Long way. I love Russellville. I love your town. I left Friday night. I had to leave at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, 2 o'clock to get back to the airport. And I stopped off at the little convenience store there to pick up a Starbucks Frappuccino. Do you like those, Starbucks? I love those. I call them Baptist crack. Do you know what I'm talking about? I love it. Love it. I stopped off at the convenience store. Now, you have to understand, and you can back me up on this, in Russellville, they do not have 7-Eleven. They do not have Circle K. They do not have the Chevron Food Mart, okay? In Russellville, they have Billy Bob's Bait, Tackle, Beer, and Wedding Photography, okay? Yeah. Don't laugh. You can also get a tetanus shot every 3rd Thursday. The veterinarian comes down there and does that. So, I stop there, I run in, I know the Frappuccino is going to be in the back, right? And I'm headed toward the back. And let me ask you a question. Have you ever eavesdropped on someone else's conversation? Have you ever done that? You know what I mean? Not to be nosy, but just so you could pray more effectively. You know what I'm saying? I'm headed to the back, and I'm listening to 2 guys go at it. Now, I do not know their name, but for the sake of the story, we'll call one of them Bubba, and we'll call the other one Billy Bob, okay? And it was Russellville, so hey, I got a pretty good chance of getting at least one of the names right, all right? So they are going back and forth. It sounded something like this. Well, it just ain't right. I'll tell you it ain't right. It's wrong. That's right. It's wrong. I'll tell you it's wrong. You better believe it's wrong. That's right. They are having an argument over what they said, in their words, was a situation that has taken place in the Russellville Public High School that ain't right. It ain't right, I tell you. It's wrong. That's right. I'm listening closer. They've got my attention here. Apparently what the situation was, that the Russellville High School is, again, in their words, requiring all the seniors to have at least 2 semesters of Spanish before they could graduate. And it just wasn't right. I tell you, it ain't right. It's wrong. That's right. 2 semesters of Spanish. And they're going back and forth. We's English people. We ain't Spanish people. We's English people. English. A-N-G-L-I. Shh. That's you laugh. That's a letter in Russellville, okay? I'm just listening to this. I don't want to get into an argument about this thing. You know, those of you who know me, you followed me over the years. This is my third year here. You kind of know me. You know that my son is of Hispanic origin and background, so I'm probably not the person that they want to drag into this little talk. And so I just want to pay for my Frappuccino. I just want to get out. And I walk up and I pay for my Frappuccino, and I'm almost out the door. My hand, sir, is on the door. I'm pushing, and all of a sudden, Bubba goes, "Hey, buddy, what do you think?" Oh no. I could hear that little voice. I don't know. Do you have a voice? I have a voice. It's called my wife. I could hear her. And she is saying, "Don't get into it. It's 2 a.m. You're not going to say anything in the course of 2 minutes that are going to change Bubba and Jimbo's life. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Walk away." And so I said, well, because see, I'm bilingual. I said, well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? This was his response. No lie, people. Bubba looks at me and he says, "We sure will, but I'll tell you right now, I just don't think when Christopher Columbus discovered America, he had any intention of all of us speaking Spanish." How do you fight logic like that? I just looked at him and I said, "Yeah, Ferdinand and Isabella hated those Mexicans, didn't they?" I would have given $100 to know how to say goodbye in Portuguese. You know, that's what stupid stuff. God gave us stupidity as a gift, and you're going to see a lot of it tonight, all right? You have come to the right place. Wow. Thank you. I want to thank the folks, Laugh All Night, who brought me in, and they were so nice. We came in a day early, and my son and I got to go to Disney World. Okay, now for those of you who live in Orlando, that's a normal thing. I'm sure you guys go over there every weekend, and but we don't get to do that often. And so we spent yesterday night at Disney World. We were getting ready to leave, and we're at the train that's the roller coaster, the Thunder Mountain. We're at the Thunder Mountain thing, and we're getting ready to leave, and my son looks down. We're under one of the loops, and my son looks down, and he found a money clip with $70 in it, you know. And I don't know about you, but when you're 10 years old, $70 is a windfall, okay? And he comes running up to me, right? He's like, "Dad, Dad." And then all of a sudden he realizes, this is Dad, right? This is the guy who wants to bring morality back to the world, okay? This is the guy who was the former pastor, okay? And I actually was. That was the toughest 2.5 weeks of my life, but I was, okay? He runs up to me, he goes, Dad, look what the Lord blessed me with." I said, "What do you got, buddy?" He said, "I've got a money clip, and there's $70 in it, and there's no name on it. Isn't God good?" I said, buddy, we can't just take that. We've got to turn that in. We've got to take that to the lost and found. He said, "Dad, if we take it to the lost and found, these characters around here, they'll take that money and they'll use it to buy drugs, Dad. We can't let that happen." He's playing me, you know what I'm saying? And I don't blame him. I was kind of proud of him for coming up with something like that, you know. And so I said to him, and these are one of the tough things. I mean, even for a parent, it's a tough thing because, I mean, let's be honest, it's Disney World. That $70 could have bought one of us a lunch. You've been there, eh? Yeah. Save up. So anyway, I said, buddy, I want you to look at it this way. If you had lost $70, what would you want to happen? And he looked at me without batting an eye. He said, "I would want to be taught a lesson." I love that kid. He is my boy. But we had to take the money back, or at least I had to pretend to. But anyway, no, it's okay. He's not here. But he was so upset on the way home, and you can understand. You're 10, you think you've won the lottery here, and all of a sudden it's gone. And so he's in the van last night, headed back to the hotel, and he's just, it's just not fair. What, buddy? It's not fair. I said, buddy, here's what I want you to do. Your mom and I, sometimes when we struggle with issues and things in life, sometimes we're angry at stuff. To help us get it out, we write songs. You know, I'm kind of a songwriter, a guitar player. My wife is an orchestra conductor, okay? When we're angry, we write songs. I've written over the years, I've probably written 10 songs just to say how mad I was. My wife has written over 300. And most of them have my name in the title. I have no idea why. I said, why don't you write a song? We got back to the hotel room. About 5 minutes later, he comes out of the bathroom and he hands me a piece of paper. He writes his material, same place I do mine. But anyway, he hands me a little piece of paper, and he had written a song on it. And with your permission, I'd like to do it for you tonight. Is that all right? Is that all right with you? Is that okay? Good. He hands me this paper, and he says, here, put some music to this. And I said, okay, I can do that. I set it down on the bed there in front of me, and I went, oh, yeah. It's entitled, Life Ain't Fair. Okay. And he's going to find that out. So I put you strummed a G chord, because that's what you write all good songs in. Okay, here we go. If life was fair, every day would be Saturday. If life was fair, bedtime would only come when you fall asleep. Broccoli would taste like candy, and we'd never have to go to school. And I would get to keep the $70 I found at Disney World. I said, buddy, it's nice, but it's kind of short. And he said, well, will you write a verse? And I said, okay, how about this? If life was fair, OJ would be in prison right now. And if life was fair, Rosie O'Donnell would be bitten by a really mad cow. Elvis would still be living, and the ACLU would be gone. And Sanjay would have been voted off of Idol on the very first round. He said, Dad, it's a serious song. You ever miss it with your kids? I missed it. It's a serious, I'm sorry, son, I'm sorry. You know, I'm a comedian, I'm sorry. Serious. Life was fair. Okay. Life was fair. Right, life was fair. How about this? Son, if life was fair, we'd get treated the way that we treat others. And if life was fair, we'd get paid exactly what we are worth. And in the end, we'd all get exactly what we deserve. So son, maybe it's better if life isn't fair. Oh, sometimes I'm thankful that life isn't fair. Justin is in the wings back there, and he is ready, and he said, Mike, he said, I don't want to go out serious, right now. This is the transition. Would you go out and just do one of your stupid songs? So is that all right with you? I'm going to throw in a stupid song here. I've been writing songs right now because my wife and I do this seminar all over the country called Men Are From Mars Because Women Killed the Ones on Venus, where we help us understand each other. And let me say, I love my wife. We have been married 22 years. Yes, praise the Lord. 20 of them happily. And it has been an amazing time. And we've been looking for a theme song, something to help the conference get started off. And I've been looking for a theme song to help people understand different situations about relationships. And, in 22 years, let me speak to the men in the room real quick for just a second. In 22 years, I have learned this about women. I know absolutely nothing. Okay, that's what I know about it. I know nothing. And when I do figure out something, somebody new gets elected and everything changes, okay? It's just that way. So I put together a little song to help us all understand what I'm talking about. What did I do to tick you off? Get your panties in a wad. What did I do to light your fuse? Set your timer off. What did I do to rub you wrong and make you pop your cork this time? When you got out of bed today, was it on the wrong side? I used to be your honey bun, now I hear you slamming doors. When I asked if I could kiss you goodnight, you pointed to the back of your drawers. I'm sorry. You're telling me that nothing's wrong, but I know that ain't true. I used to be your number one. Now you're treating me like number two.